I want to try out macOS. You know, the OS everyone says is smoother, more stable, and just better to use. But I really didn't want to drop thousands of dollars on a MacBook. So Hackintosh, a whole new world opened up for me. As we know, macOS doesn't have the crazy hardware compatibility that Windows does. To install macOS on my Dell laptop, I need to customize the EFI files. If you don't know what that is, just think of the EFI as the translate. It helps the operating system understand the hardware we have. That's where OpenCore comes in. It's a special bootloader that tricks macOS into thinking we actually have a real MacBook. But building an OpenCore EFI manually have to tweak a ton of settings I'm not familiar with, but just one wrong setting can cause macOS it fail to boot. Luckily, I found a tool called OpenCore Simplify, which actually automates the whole setup process. I download the files from GitHub and run the bat file. It asks if I want to install Python automatically, and I just type yes. As you can see, it's a command line tool, but don't worry, it's super easy to use. First up, I select the first option from the menu to generate a hardware report. macOS doesn't play nice with my NVIDIA GPU, and my Wi-Fi card don't support airdrop or other cool features. But I'm totally fine with that, since I can just use the Intel iGPU. Next, it asks me to pick a macOS version. Tahoe? No, not a fan of liquid glass design. I'm good with Llama, it's just a bad fit for my laptop. For my Intel Wi-Fi card, I stick with the default option for a more stable experience. This does mean we lose native Wi-Fi menu, so we'll need to use heliport instead. It automatically disables my NVIDIA GPU. As a beginner, I just trust the tool and don't tweak anything else. I select Build OpenCore EFI. Then it prompts me to choose a codec layout for my sound card. I just go with the default. After a few minutes of downloading, I get my EFI folder. It includes the OC and boot folder which pack all the core components we need. Now let's fix the USB mic. Because macOS is standard exclusively for Macs, it has strict limits on number and type of USB ports. That's why USB toolbox comes in. It's another command line tool. Let's select discard ports. To make sure every port is identified correctly, I grab a USB drive and plug it into every USB port. It takes a bit of time, but now our USB map is perfectly set up. I go back to the menu and choose the option to build the USB map file. Then I copy the generated file to the right folder and delete the old UTB default file. Next up, we need to edit our config file using a tool called property. First, open the config file. Then just press Ctrl R to run an OC snapshot. Finally, save the file. Now it's time to get the actual operating system. For this, we need OpenCore PKG. It comes with a handy tool called Mac Recovery. If you open the recovery URL file, you can find the download commands for all the different macOS recovery images. I just copy the command and run it in the command prompt. Perfect, Mac Recovery starts downloading the Snowman recovery image. A few minutes later, I have my Snowman recovery environment ready to roll. Let's select up our bootable USB drive. I open up Rufus, set the boot selection to non-bootable, choose GPT for the partition scheme, and FAT32 for the file system. Then I just hit Start to format the drive. Once that's done, I copy my EFI folder and recovery image straight onto the USB drive. But before we actually install macOS, we need to dive into the BIOS. First things first, we have to disable secure boot. Then take out virtualization. It's not strictly necessary, but it helps avoid issues. Finally, I tweak the boot order. The laptop boots from the USB drive, and I select the recovery option. Suddenly, a ton of code starts flying down the screen. Don't panic, that's actually a great sign. It means everything we did earlier is working perfectly. Now the Apple logo pops up. I select English, hit continue, and get into the main installation menu. Next, I open our disk utility. Since I only have one hard drive, I select it and click Eraser. I name the drive Hackintosh and leave everything else on default. When the drive is formatted, I go back and click Reinstall macOS normal. I pick the drive I just formatted and the actual installation finally kicks off. Now we just have to sit back and wait for about 3 hours. After a few boots, some black screens and more scrolling code, the installation is finally complete. I choose my language and region and create a new local account, and finally we are in. As expected, the native Wi-Fi menu isn't working right, so I download Hackintosh, and now I can control my Wi-Fi without any issue. But hold on, it's not time to celebrate just yet. Right now our EFI fault is only sitting on the USB drive. To fix this, I grab a tool called Hackintosh from GitHub. I open the app, go over to the Disks tab, and click the Mount EFI icon. Then I open Finder, copy the EFI fault from the USB drive, and pass it right into the correct local partition. And there we have it. The system is fully installed, the UI is battery smooth, hardware acceleration is working perfectly. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.